Kalamazoo, direct to you. That's my wonderful town.
We all set back there?
I think so.
Give me a wave when you're ready. For those of you that don't know who I am, I'm Richard White, Police Chief for the City of Portage. Hello and welcome. Let me, with your indulgence, read a brief statement here regarding the continuing investigation of the July 15th homicide of Mr. Robert Atkinson, an area business owner. When I'm done, there'll be an opportunity for some questions after my opening remarks here. On Thursday, January 15th, 2009, Robert Atkinson, a 53-year-old Portage resident and local businessman, was found dead from a single gunshot wound at his place of business, Precision Windows, 9651 Portage Road. Later, an autopsy confirmed his death was a homicide. Over the past 2 months, the Portage Police Department has worked diligently to solve this murder. Countless interviews were conducted, thousands of documents were reviewed and examined, and a number of items of physical evidence was seized and examined and processed during the course of this investigation, both by Portage Police Department lab officers and the Michigan State Police Crime Laboratory. The Portage Police Department has been working closely also with other law enforcement agencies on many facets of this case. Very recently, the Kalamazoo County Prosecutor's Office authorized charges for open murder and felony firearm. An arrest warrant was obtained by detectives early this morning for James Leonard Lanier, a 36-year-old Kalamazoo man. Mr. Lanier was arrested without incident today and was arraigned in Kalamazoo County 8th District Court by the Honorable Judge Robert C. Croft. On behalf of the Portage Police Department, I would like to thank and commend all of the officers who assisted during the course of this investigation. The Portage Police Department's investigative resource team has worked very hard to put a case together, and I want to commend all of them for their diligence. The Portage Police Department would also like to thank the Michigan State Police and the Kalamazoo Department of Public Safety for their assistance. With me today are the detectives and supervisors who worked this case since January. They're all available to answer any questions that you might have. And since I don't know a lot of your names, if you would, if you have a question to ask when I call upon you, please state your name and identify the media outlet that you represent. Yes, ma'am.
I'm Emily, and I'm a reporter with the NLA, and I'm just wondering, what is Mr. Lanier's relationship to this, if anyone's got connection there?
Sergeant Blue, if you would.
Obviously, the arrest was made today, but there is still an ongoing investigation. Mr. Lanier was connected to the business as a subcontracted employee through Precision Windows.
Do we know, I mean, was there an argument? Was this over money?
Well, there's a lot of information that will be coming out shortly with regard to the investigation. Again, as far as I don't want to compromise anything that we're still working on to link things up through the prosecutor's office, but obviously there was a situation that occurred and some other things that drew into it that created the situation that we've had today.
Jared, working with Channel 3. This wasn't the same individual who found Mr. Atkinson before.
No, it was not.
And I've been talking with Deputy Chief Bills quite a bit since this happened. For several weeks afterward, I would call and say, any leads? And he said, really, we don't have anything now. Was there really just that kind of difficulty at first, or was that just kind of steady?
Well, the investigation, obviously like most investigations, develops a nexus, and we have to track everything down. And before we commit to anything, we want to make sure that we run it down and run that information down. Obviously, we don't want to give anything out initially to compromise the investigation. However, the leads and information that we developed, we ran them down to the ground, and we're able to develop the probable cause that we have. We were also working closely with the Michigan State Police Crime Lab and the Kalamazoo County Prosecutor's Office for that too. So the thing as far as how these things take fold, it had a different element to it than like some of the homicides that you've reported on to as domestic homicide or something like that. So obviously there was a lot of logistic work on this, and it's something that we wanted to be comfortable for when we got to this point.
Can you tell us how the investigation brought you?
Well, it was from the initial investigation that we started, and then as we started to develop more information from that, he became the focus of it. Right now, as far as our motive, what we're working on, as far as the information that we have, is we're developing more information to link this up. Obviously, as far as there was a situation within the business itself and the business management of it itself, and then from that point, as far as I'm going to hold off on that until we continue our investigation on it.
No evidence?
Yes.
Initially, I know you had said there was no evidence of force majeure robbery, is that still hold?
Yes, correct.
Does Mr. Lanier have a
Yes, he does.
Can you tell us?
That you're probably going to have to require under freedom of information.
How long have you been subcontracting?
That I can turn over to the detectives that know a little bit more information about that.
I think he worked for them for a number of years. He worked with another subcontractor originally. Then he started working independent of that. He's terminated once previous and was reemployed with him.
From you terminated from the business?
That's correct. Well, as a subcontractor.
Is already a member of the family going to be?
I think so.
It's not necessary if they wish to. If there's someone that wishes to.
Yeah, absolutely. Should I ask my questions? Can I get one of you to come go in?
Sure.
I'm sorry, your name?
I'm Bill Atkinson, Bob's brother.
Okay. Been following this for 2 months now, and I've talked with a couple of you on a couple different occasions, but it obviously not an easy situation for anybody. Does this give you any kind of relief at all?
It does. It doesn't bring Bob back, but hopefully it gets a dangerous person off the street. And we're really thankful to the police for all the work they did to bring this to where it is after just 2 months. I think that's remarkable myself. That's pretty much all I have to say.
Was there, did you ever know of your brother's relationship with
We knew that he worked for him and that there had been some friction, but nothing like this.
Can you describe it?
No, I really can't.
I understand that since your brother's death, that obviously a good thing you have a rather large family, been there for one another. Has there been anything that's made it easier in the past 2 months on our
Well, the fact that we have been there for each other, and the fact that so many people came out for Bob's funeral. There were 300 people at his funeral. It was an indication of the fact that he was held in pretty high esteem and people cared about him. He touched a lot of lives. And I think that was a comfort to all of us. Yes.
Again, my name is
Yes.
Sherry, sorry.
Thank you.
I'm wondering, I don't think, is this still operating, or are you going to continue that? I mean, I called, there was a funny voice message, so I just
Right.
wanted to know the status of that.
It is operating in the sense that we've continued the business that was in process and are supporting sales that were made previously to the best of our ability. Exactly what's going to happen with the business, we're not sure at this point. We're exploring a number of avenues. So. Any other questions? Okay, thanks. March 26th.